Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Tuesday morning. We're in a different location today. We're in Bentley Church, and I haven't got my trusty sidekick Gemma with me. Or I say trusty sidekick. She's the boss, really. I think I'm the sidekick. But Gemma's not with me today. We've had a very busy week coming back from the New Wine Leaders Conference, which I'm going to tell you a little bit about in a minute. But first, our reading. Our reading is from Psalm 50, and it's a long one, and this is what it says. The mighty one, God the Lord, speaks and summons the earth, from the rising of the sun to where it sets. From Zion, perfect in beauty, God shines forth. Our God comes and will not be silent. A fire devours before him, and around him a tempest rages. He summons the heavens above and the earth that he may judge his people. Gather to me his consecrated people, who made a covenant with me by sacrifice. And the heavens proclaim his righteousness, for he is a God of justice. Listen, my people, and I will speak. I will testify against you, Israel. I am God, your God. I bring no charges against you concerning your sacrifices, or concerning your burnt offerings, which are ever before me. I have no need of a bull from your stall, or of goats from your pens. For every animal of the forest is mine, and the cattle on 1,000 hills. I know every bird in the mountains, and the insects in the field are mine. If I were hungry, I would not tell you, for the world is mine, and all this is in it. Do I eat the flesh of bulls, or drink the blood of goats? Sacrifice thank offerings to God. Fulfill your vows to the Most High, and call on me in the day of trouble. I will deliver you, and you will honour me. But to the wicked person, God says, what right do you have to recite my laws or take my covenant on your lips? You hate my instruction and cast my words behind you. When you see a thief, you join with him. You throw in your lot with adulterers. You use your mouth for evil and harness your tongue to deceit. You sit and testify against your brother and slander your own mother's son. When you did these things and I kept silent, you thought I was exactly like you, but I now arraign you and set my accusations before you. Consider this, you who forget God, or I will tear you to pieces, with no one to rescue you. Those who sacrifice thank offerings honour me, and to the blameless I will show my salvation. So there we go, a nice, cheerful, happy, clappy psalm that you needed to encourage you on a Tuesday morning. Not exactly, but this has been a really interesting one for me to read today, especially with coming back from the New Wine Leaders Conference last week, and lots of things for me are starting to align in this. So I thought I would share some of my reflections on the New Wine Leaders Conference. During the sessions, the format for New Wine is very simple. We have worship, then we have a preach or a talk, then we have a ministry time. So just worship, singing songs, glorifying God, engaging with his presence, teaching, hopefully that's really inspiring, although not always, admittedly, but normally very inspiring and encouraging and challenging. And finally, ministry. We just respond to the worship, to the preach, by listening to what God might be telling us, by praying for one another and seeking his Spirit to work in us. And this is a nice, simple model that lots of people call worship, teaching, ministry. Nice and easy. And the real challenge that I kind of came away from this is the hunger that those leaders had. It was a group of 1,800 or so of us, but we all came there wanting to experience God, to encounter his presence. We read at the beginning of this psalm, and it sort of reflects that throughout, that God is mighty, the mighty God. He speaks and summons the earth. He summons the heavens above. Some of these images are incredible, and the Bible is littered through them with similar images, including through the Psalms. And we have the privilege, or at least I believe we have the privilege, we have relationship with this God, this almighty creator of the heavens. And this new wine model is a really important part of how we can engage with this. The whole conference was centred, or not the whole conference perhaps, but lots of the conference was centred around being hungry for God, engaging with him, responding to him. And so as we go through this psalm, I'm not going to go into the whole background, although it is very interesting. God talks about the fact that Israel is sacrificing their offerings, but God doesn't care for their offerings. And the parallel to today is that we can do all the right things, we can say all the right prayers, we can come to church every single week, and we don't really care. And we're there because we want to do the right thing at the right time, but we're not really there because we want to worship God. And so I found this brilliant quotes from a guy unpacking this psalm. So as Christians, as God's people, if we enter our church building and meet with God's people and sing songs and give money and do all the things that are expected of us as churchgoers, and yet our hearts are not full of thanks to God, you have God's word right here telling you that's not what he's looking for. God is not looking for us to turn up on a Sunday and do the right things. He wants us to worship him in fullness. He wants us to come to him hungry for what he might be doing. He wants us to give thanks for the wonderful things that he has done. And sorry, I'm blabbering on now, but I'll share one last little thing, and then you can have a wonderful rest of your day. I talked yesterday, 2 days ago now. I'm recording this on a Monday. I talked on Sunday at Bentley about this, my big takeaway from the conference being the hunger. And actually, when we come to church, it's not on me as the worship leader to encourage, I'm not responsible for your relationship with God. There we go, that's what I'm trying to say. I, as the worship leader, am not responsible for your intimacy with God in worship. And it's not about whether it's modern songs or ancient hymns, but we all have a responsibility to engage and connect with God. I don't want to turn up for a lovely service on a Sunday morning. I don't want to turn up and hear a nice preach and nice music played really nicely. Because if I wanted a nice Sunday morning, there are plenty of other things that I could do. I want to come to church hungry for God. I want to encounter him. I want my life to be changed and challenged and transformed by what he has in store for us. And so my encouragement and challenge to you and from this psalm is that we don't come to church or come to our home groups just because that's what we do. Because you want to share in a nice meal with some nice people, or you want to hear some nice lovely music. But that we would all approach these things hungry for what God is doing. To see his Spirit transform us, to heal the brokenhearted, to set the captives free. And without me going on and on and on, I hope you have a wonderful day. Let's all be encouraged and challenged to be hungry for God this week and in the coming weeks. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.